Hey guys, it's Friday evening, just heading out. Have a couple of clips from this weekend, getting the Halloween party ready. I'll just throw a few of them in there. Hey, it's Halloween, right? Alright, here's the setup so far. Not quite what it could have been because it's raining and windy out. Usually most everything's outside. But everything's pretty much inside. Usually have that outdoor fireplace going. I'm gonna have the lights off in here, and got that guy set up on the bike. He'll just be reflecting with that strobe light there and the black light on it. And that's it. Got a little smoke machine. It'll be blowing smoke out of the garage. Usually better when it's not pouring out and more stuff is outside. Ooh, creepy. That's all going in the garage. Spooky. Very spooky. Spooky. See a kitty catching them?
What is that? Don't take a picture.
Too late. And here's some shop stuff from today, and a little playing around with some metal flake just before I left. So Monday morning, 2.5 hours of cutting and buffing. That thing's looking pretty good. This 894 clear, I think it is. One of the nicest polishing clears I've run into. That was a nice surprise. Alright, I just did a couple of gas caps and I got a little tiny bit of clear left. Anytime I've done metal flake, I've put it in a clear base coat and done like a mid coat with it and then cleared over it. But I've always wanted to try putting it in the clear because sometimes it suspends it a little nicer, and then you sand it flat and put another coat of clear over it, or you just bury it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to try this as a mid coat. I have some copper metal flake, some fairly big stuff. I used some of this on my bike a while back. I have pretty much a lifetime supply now out of this thing. So I'm going to just flood it in here, I think. I have a little test panel made up. I'm going to keep it well stirred. Maybe put a little more in. I want to actually go 100% with this, get coverage, see what happens. I'm going to use my primer gun because it has a 1/7 tip. And now I'm going to take the things I just painted out of the booth because I don't want this all over them. Quick tip when spraying metal flake and using a PPS cup, pull the filter tab out. Take the filter out. Otherwise no flake will come out. Alright, so this is a piece of metal off a dark blue Honda Civic I did last week. It's kind of a dark blue with a real violet flip to it. And here it is with that gold copper metal flake on it. Oh yeah, look at that. I just hammered it. I'm going to give it a light sand tomorrow. And I got some airbrush ideas I want to do with it. But what do you think of that, Tommy Shoe? There's all it glitters is gold right there. Yeah. And before we go, it's Halloween. So how about an auto body horror story? How about that? I think all you guys should do shop horror stories. It'd be funny. More than probably, I don't know, a good 15 years ago, I forget how long ago it was, at this shop, I've been here for a long time, we had a manager that used to work here, and he'd gone through quite a bit finding parts for this car that we were working on. At the time it was like Dodge Daytona, Shelby or something, I think it was orange, and it was a convertible, and they didn't make a lot of those, and we had a lot of trouble finding. It was close to totaled, but I think we ended up replacing probably every body panel in the car. But it was really hard finding a quarter panel for it, I think, or the door, I don't remember. But they came for a car that wasn't a convertible, and you had to cut them, and they all had to be kind of wrestled around with to get right. And we had this car for an entire summer. It was just one headache after the next. Everything was going wrong with it, but they finally got the car done. It ended up being an overall paint job, tons of sanding and buffing, and the systems we used back then were really hard to do that with. And at that point, it was like now it was starting to get dark at the end of the day, but it was pitch black this night. And I remember being in the shop, and we heard this. It was out front, ready to get delivered, and we opened up. We heard a noise, a funny noise out front, and we opened up the front door of the building, and there was a car out there, just mangled, and we were like, "Well, what's that all about?" And man, it looks like one of those cars that we just worked on, and I guess it was that car. After this kid waited half a year for his car, it got completely sideswiped, but on the other side than the one we fixed. And I guess our manager, he was giving one of the guys a ride home that night. He had an old Chevy pickup with a big steel step bumper on the back, and he just backed up towards the office, and he didn't even see the car, and he just felt a little bump. He didn't even know what it was. He thought he maybe rubbed the island out front with his tire, and the kid that was in the truck with him goes, "You just hit that car." And he turned around and he looked, and he'd cracked his beer for the evening, and he just took a sip of his beer and he drove off and dealt with it the next day. But so then we had that car for a few more months. What a horror story, huh? Hey guys, have a good one. Happy Halloween.